Ferrari may not be trying to sign Max Verstappen today, but they may already be preparing for the day they need to. And that is what makes this story so dangerous for the rest of Formula One. Because on the surface, nothing has happened. Lewis Hamilton has not retired. Max Verstappen has not left Red Bull. Ferrari have not made any public move. There is no signed deal, no official contact, no dramatic announcement waiting to drop. But behind all of that, the logic is starting to build. Hamilton is now deep into the final phase of his career. Red Bull no longer looks like the untouchable machine that once revolved perfectly around Verstappen. And Ferrari are staring at a future where one of the biggest decisions they will make in the next era is simple. Who leads this team after Hamilton? And if that question is already being asked inside the paddock, then of course one name will keep coming back: Max Verstappen. Now, to understand why this conversation even exists, you have to start with Hamilton, because this is not really a story about Ferrari replacing Lewis tomorrow. It is a story about Ferrari thinking one step ahead. Hamilton is still one of the biggest names in the sport. He still has the aura, the experience, and the weight to lead a title charge if Ferrari finally give him the complete package. But Formula One does not stop and wait for sentiment. Teams at the top are always planning the next move before the current one is finished. And that is especially true when the current plan comes with a natural question mark. Hamilton's future is not uncertain because he has said he is done. It is uncertain because time forces the question anyway. If Ferrari do not become true title contenders quickly enough, if the results do not fully match the ambition, and if the next stage of this project starts demanding a longer-term answer, then Ferrari cannot afford to start thinking late. They have to be ready before the market moves. And that is where Verstappen enters the picture. Not as a confirmed target, not as a secret signing, but as the one name any serious team would track if there is even a small chance he could become available. Because Verstappen's situation is no longer as simple as it used to be. For years, Red Bull gave him everything a driver could want: a winning structure, technical confidence, internal stability, and a team built around his strengths. That was the perfect environment for dominance. Now, that image has cracks all over it. The results are not the same. The comfort around him is not the same. And maybe most importantly, the people around him are not the same. When key figures leave one by one, it changes more than headlines. It changes trust. It changes rhythm. It changes the feeling a driver has when he walks into the garage and knows exactly who is standing beside him. And for a driver like Verstappen, that matters. Because for all the talk about contracts and loyalty, elite drivers stay where they believe the project is strongest. The second that belief starts weakening, every top team in the sport starts paying attention. That is why Ferrari watching this situation makes complete sense. Not because they are desperate, because they would be foolish not to. Now here is where the story becomes even more interesting. Ferrari already have the obvious long-term answer sitting in front of them. Oliver Bearman. Young, fast, promising, already connected to the system, and exactly the kind of driver Ferrari would love to build a future around. In many ways, he is the cleanest succession plan possible. He fits the timeline. He fits the investment. He fits the image of a next-generation Ferrari project. But Formula One is ruthless. Potential is valuable. Proven greatness is something else entirely. And that is the tension at the center of this whole story. If Bearman continues rising, Ferrari have a natural path. If he stalls, or if Ferrari decide the next era is too important to gamble on promise alone, then the calculation changes instantly. Because Max Verstappen is not a prospect. He is not a project. He is not a long shot with upside. And he is the finished product. A driver who already knows how to carry a team, absorb pressure, and turn chaos into points. A driver whose presence changes how rivals think before a season even begins. That is why even a quiet interest matters so much. And then comes the biggest complication of all: Charles Leclerc. Because signing Verstappen is easy to talk about in theory, actually placing him next to Leclerc inside Ferrari is something completely different. On paper, it sounds incredible. Two elite drivers, two huge names, two drivers capable of leading a title fight. From a pure spectacle point of view, it would be one of the biggest pairings Formula One has seen in years. But inside the garage, that could become explosive. Ferrari would not just be choosing talent, they would be choosing tension. They would be choosing pressure. They would be choosing the kind of internal battle that can either create a championship monster or tear the whole project in half. And Ferrari know that better than anyone. Because managing one superstar is hard enough. Managing two while carrying the expectations of the biggest brand in the sport is a completely different game. That is why this story should not be treated like a simple transfer rumor. It is bigger than that. It is really about three questions that Formula One does not have the answers to yet. First, how long does Hamilton actually want to keep going if Ferrari are not giving him a real championship car? Second, how much instability does Verstappen tolerate at Red Bull before he starts seriously looking elsewhere? And third, when Ferrari finally reach their next major decision point, how do they trust the future they have built internally? Or do they go after the strongest proven option on the market? That is the real drama here. Because Ferrari do not need to make a move today for this story to matter. They just need to be thinking about it. And the moment Ferrari begin thinking seriously about life after Hamilton, Verstappen becomes impossible to ignore. So no, this is not a done deal. It is not even close to that. But it is no longer a crazy idea either. It is a live possibility built on timing, pressure, opportunity, and the one thing that always drives Formula One more than loyalty ever will: advantage. And if Ferrari believe that the next era of this sport could be won or lost by who moves first on Max Verstappen, then they will not wait until the door is fully open. They will already be standing outside it.